Welcome to the Myrtle Beach Premier League, brought to you by Tungsten TV. I'm Richard Barrington-Hill.
And I'm Bud Grazioli.
This week's game is sponsored by dartbrokers.com. For all your darting supply needs, the bull stops here.
And also the Island Bar and Grill of Surfside Beach, the official after party of the Myrtle Beach Premier League.
We've got an interesting game for you this week. We have the battle of the second places. We have Glenn Trevitt versus Tracy Gray.
That's right. Tracy finished last season in the Championship League in second. Glenn finished last season in the Premier League in second. So it is going to be truly a battle of the seconds. Tracy promoted up into the Premier League this season based on his second place finish last season.
They even both had the same record, 5 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss. Now you can argue the standards are different in the two leagues, but this game's going to show us. In the first week, Glenn played, well, he had a bye so he didn't actually play. But Tracy played and he lost to last year's Premier League champion, Gio, but he lost 9-6.
He lost, but he threw very good darts and showed that his place in the Premier League is well-earned and well-deserved. So it'll be real interesting to see how he responds this week to last season's runner-up in the Premier League.
Shall we get in?
Let's get going.
Well, looks like Tracy's got the throw. You're joining us at 0-0. And he's wearing his glasses.
The first game right out of the night, he's got his glasses on and it looks like they've already started helping. His first shot is a ton. A nice way to start the night.
Yeah, it's the ideal start, especially against such a good opponent. He's got to put down a mark and say, I'm here, I deserve to be here, and you're going to have to throw some darts to get rid of me. And we know that Glenn really can throw darts, so it should be a cracking game, and what a riposte.
And Glenn has answered him with a ton. So if this is what we have to look forward to for the entire night, then I'm excited because this has all the makings of a very good match.
And an easy night for the scorekeeper.
Tons are easy to subtract.
For most people.
And there's a 60 from Tracy. Now let's see what Glenn can respond with.
Yeah, in this league, if your opponent only hits a 60, in this league, that can be an opening. It's not always. I think no matter who you play in, 60 is nothing to sniff at, but as I said.
And Glenn has responded with another ton. It's very early on in the night, and Glenn's throwing some very good darts already. It's nice to see that he's got his stroke very early. A lot of times we see the first game or the first couple of games, the darters struggle because they're just not warmed up or not quite in sync, they're not in focus, and Glenn looks like he's in focus already.
And those back-to-back tons seem to have a slight effect on Tracy there, as he only hit a 41, meaning in effect Glenn stole the throw.
And he's not letting up. He's hit yet another ton. That's 3 in a row for those of you keeping score at home, and that's put Tracy in a little bit of a hole already for this game.
Fantastic darts. He looks a lot smoother. Last time we commentated on Glenn, he was playing Gio. It was a fantastic match, but that smoothness that he has wasn't quite there, and there's some great darts being thrown here. Another ton.
Another ton from Tracy. The score sheet's going to have a lot of ink on it before this night's over, I'll bet.
Yeah, their first leg's going to have more tons than I will this season. And that's the first wayward dart we've seen. Unless he was just trying to get rid of that one on his score.
He wanted to make it even. He set himself up with a 160.
And that ton from Tracy's looking big now, because although he hasn't got the initiative back, he's back in contention.
Well, if he puts a big score on the board right now, it'll put the pressure on Glenn, and we'll steal the throw back for him. Let's see what he does with his third dart, and it's another 20. It's a 60. It's nothing terrible about a solid 60.
And they're both, well, Tracy's on a very doable finish at this level. Glenn just needs to, smooth things off, get some. That's exactly what he needed.
He misfired into the 5, but he came right back at that triple 20 and got it. And he's sitting on a very pretty 75 now. Tracy's got to get a big score, if not take it out, in order to put the pressure on Glenn.
So 75, where's your first start at?
There are several different ways you can go at it. The cockier shooters might throw bull, double bull, which I never really understood the thinking behind that. I would be inclined to go with the triple 17, double 12 myself.
That's probably not enough pressure there from Tracy to worry Glenn, but he's still within touching distance.
He's close. He's got a 2-darter, but it's a long one. And Glenn threw at the triple 17. 68 leaves him a double bull if he can get zeroed in on that little red dot in the middle of the board.
Or we can hit an 18 if he
And then again, I counted wrong. Glenn had a double top left.
Oh, there's a first. It's normal. That's normally my job. All right, 97 here, so it would have been triple 19 double top. He's straight into the 7, so... Ooh.
Now he should be looking at the triple 18, double 18. And that's where he went. Double 18 for the game.
Oh, I think he got a bit excited there.
Just a bit high, I think.
We all do it. You see that dart go into the red bit, and you get a little rush of adrenaline.
It seems to be some issue with the score, but 36 is what he has left, despite what my math skills demonstrated a few minutes ago.
I'm not sure we can trust you.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Well, a little bit inside there. He needs to fix it. I've always thought when you're throwing at the double top, you should throw a little bit high on purpose for the first start and bring it down.
We'll definitely put a marker dart up there and work your way down into the 20.
It's a safer route than having to completely change your body position to throw for the double 10. We're not all James Wade. Double 10 doesn't come naturally to a lot of us.
Tracy dropped his third dart a little bit low. He had 2 nice markers up there, but the third one just couldn't take advantage. And Glenn's going to get another shot at this 10. A double 5, not a pretty out, but at this level, the Premier League, these guys shouldn't be afraid of any double on the board. And as I say, that Glenn throws at the 2, so now he's looking at a double 4. And there it is.
Yeah, it looks like it was logical in the end.
Probably a very smart shot on his part. Double 5 is such an ugly number because if you hit the 5, then you've got to fix it, leaving yourself 1 dart at a double.
Well, it looks like we're going straight back into the next leg. Glenn 1 game up with the throw. This could be very good if he can hit those big numbers he was hitting last game.
Well, he definitely stole that one from Tracy. After Glenn missed his shot at the out, Tracy really had an opportunity to get that game back, and he couldn't take advantage of Glenn's misfortune. So Glenn took advantage of his misfortune. So Tracy's going to have to knuckle up and really put a good game on here to get that throw back.
It's interesting, isn't it? We didn't see any first game nerves until they got down to their double. It's quite out of character. That's a beautiful first start. There's plenty of room for him to fill it up. And that's unlucky.
Just a bit wide on that second dart. And the third dart, he gets it in there, so it's a 123. It's a good shot by Glenn. He'll be happy with that. He's right on the triples. He's been on the triples, so far the whole game. He had the tons in the first game, and he's not looking back. He's continuing on with his hot hand.
Yeah, Tracy wasn't happy with that first start. That's a beautiful cover shot.
He dropped down to the 19s. The 20s just weren't doing it for him, and he dropped into the triple 19, and that was a beautiful cover shot from Tracy. Let's see what Glenn can do to respond. See if he can keep the pressure on him.
Yeah, Glenn's definitely looking as smooth as he did in the first season when he won, when he went undefeated and won. When he played Gio last season, the smoothness was gone. I don't know whether that was nerves or...
Hard to say. Maybe nerves, maybe a little bit of exhaustion. Summertime, maybe he was working, maybe he wanted to be out on the boat somewhere. It's hard to say. But he's definitely got his eye back. He's doing a lot better this game, clearly showing that he's refocused his energies and is getting right back into it.
Well, it's going to be an interesting Premier League this year. The first season, Glenn went undefeated and kind of walked it. With all due respect to the other shooters, I mean, not one of them gave him an easy game, but he did what he had to do. The second season, Gio came in and powered his way through, and this season you've got a resurgent Glenn. Oh, it's a great shot, by the way. I'm going to stop talking for a second. That's a great dart. You've got a resurgent Glenn, you've got Gio, you've got Tom B coming up, you've got Tracy, you've still got Tommy Hepburn and Tommy. The league's just getting stronger and stronger.
Well, the competition level is absolutely insane in the Premier League, and that's what you wanted. What a beautiful shot by Glenn. My turn to stop talking. He covered that 121 very nicely. He's set himself up on a beautiful 86 out.
Yeah, that's when you first start strays into the one to hit out 2 triple 20s is something special.
And he's not giving up on that triple 20 either. He's giving an 85 answer.
Looks like we've got a dancer in the background.
Craig Elder says hello to all of his fans, both of them.
Didn't think he had that many.
And Glenn's got a 40 or an 82 now, so he's looking at he looked at the double bull for a 32 out. I thought he might throw it the triple 14 for tops. He'd hit another 18.
Would you like a calculator, just in case?
You know what? I'm having a bad math day. What can I say?
I only do because I normally mess up 3 times in a game, but no one knows. Well, they probably do. I'd like to think I'll get away with it. He's left himself one of my favourite finishes, 48, 16, double 16, nice and easy. Puts you in the right area.
It does. 48's a good out. It leaves you a little room for the lesser shooters like me. It gives me a whole nother number to miss into and yet still have a shot at the double, assuming I miss into the 8 and not the 7.
Yeah, I always claim that like that. I always claim that was on purpose.
Yeah, Glenn will probably want to say that he was throwing 8 double 20 on this shot, but I think that first dart just got away from him. That third dart's just outside the wire.
He's gone inside on that 20 again. That's probably something, if we see it continue, something, he should be looking at.
And he's left Tracy a shot with a 91. There's a 17. Should leave him 74.
Obviously going for the triple to leave tops.
That's what I would expect. 74 is going to be triple 14 most likely. I can't see him throwing anything terribly unconventional here. Triple 14 will leave 32. Now he went for it. That's got a single in there, so he's got 60 left, and now he's got tops.
Well, like he almost went for the 60. It's not master out here.
I don't think he would have been happy had he hit that triple. It was dangerously close, and one of the risks of having a 60 out is the possibility that you fly into that triple 20.
Oh, it's unlucky, but it's a good marker if you can just bring it in. And
just a little bit too much. He missed it into the single 10. Glenn's going to look back at this match and really kick himself for the doubles.
Well, only if Tracy punishes him.
It's a good point, but I think he's still going to be disappointed with his performance.
Well, that first dart was nigh on perfect. The second dart was a bit astray.
And the third dart was a triple 20. Interesting. I'm sure it just got away from him. I can't imagine for the life of me that he meant to throw that triple.
It's an interesting tactic. Let's see how it works out for him.
Yeah, some of these Premier League shooters have interesting strategies on their outs, as we saw with Gio and his 100 out throwing at the triple 17.
This is very interesting. Glenn was on a 10 last game and without a second hesitation, 2 double 4 and hit it. This game, he committed a sin by going for the 5 and going inside.
And Glenn hit the double 20. Tracy hit the double 20.
No more beer for this man.
I should switch to Coke right now.
A cola, yes.
A cola.
Yes, good. Well, you're back with us. Tracy's taken a lead here. It's 3-2 to Tracy. Glenn's got the throw to even it up. And Glenn started with a ton again. So Tracy's done some good work. That double gave him the confidence to go on and get a couple more legs in the bag.
Oh, that's exactly right. He's obviously shooting much better now. Basically they're level pegging right now, trading wins. And Glenn's still there. He's right on that triple 20. He can't be upset about that. I think, like I said, he's going to be upset with his doubles performance when it's all said and done. And with that 38, I know he's not going to be real happy with that. He's not putting any pressure on Tracy.
Well, a lot of the shooters who are just watching, who aren't familiar with these players, might think that perhaps Glenn was considering taking Tracy lightly as he only came second in the league below. But Tracy's well known in this area. People know what he can do. And he's a top draw shot, so there's no way anybody in that league will take a game with Tracy lightly. So,
well, that's exactly right. I don't think Glenn's mistake is taking Tracy for granted. I think Glenn's just struggling right now. He's having a hard time finding the 20s all of a sudden, which I find very surprising. Glenn's usually one of the more consistent shooters.
Well, as the first game showed, his scoring was not in question. Though a couple of suspect choices on the doubles perhaps go in with too much confidence at the double top.
Well, I've got to agree with what you said a moment ago about the double 5. The first time he set himself up on a 10, he threw 2 double 4 and he hit it in 2 darts. So the next time he had a double 5, he went for the double 5 and really mucked it up and gave Tracy a chance to win the game. I can't understand why he didn't just go back at the 2 double 4 again. It seemed to work for him, and maybe he's feeling like he needs to practice his doubles in the middle of a match, but I can't imagine that would be the case.
Well, he's just hit another ton, so the scoring's still there, as we know.
And Tracy's not giving him much of a challenge. He's only hit a 60 there, and Glenn's got this game in control at the moment. Let's see how it plays out.
to take the throw off someone who's at a couple of tons when you haven't. You need to, he's going to need a 140 at some point to. Always hoping that by the time Glenn gets down to the out, he's missing, and that isn't the right tactic at this level.
Well, you definitely don't want your strategy to be built on hoping your opponent misses, because Glenn's not going to miss forever. He's going to get tightened up, and he's going to start hitting the doubles, and Tracy's not going to be getting those chances for much longer.
That first start looks incredible.
It is. It's in there, and it's beautiful. It's right in the corner, plenty of room for 2 more darts.
And Tracy covered the triple 20 and smartly dropped down to the 19s.
He did.
He certainly knows his game. And it's put him right back into the mix.
There's Glenn's sitting on a 150 now, and Tracy's got to hit a big score just to get on and out. Glenn's going to get a first shot at this, and he's capable of taking it. So let's see if Tracy can at least get himself in position to put a little bit of pressure on Glenn.
Going for the double ball there?
I expect he was.
But again, he's done enough. He's done enough there. Odds are Glenn won't take this out. But if Glenn just sets it up nicely, that does, and it looks like he might do, that does put Trace under a lot of pressure.
Well, there's a triple 20 with the first dart, so he's got a 90 now. And he dropped it into the 4 again. He did that a little bit earlier.
Yeah, going for that old triple 18, double 18 combo. Tracy came very close to that earlier.
And Tracy's going to be on a 123, so he'd be throwing at the 19 with his first dart, I expect. He did, and wow, he hit a 3. That's not going to be pleasing to him.
Oh, he's got a ton left. To 60 would have been perfect. But the 20 will do. 80 is an interesting one. I'm a double top sort of guy, but.
Double top is it's such a high risk, high reward. If you hit it, great. You got 2 darts to hit it again. If you miss, you run the risk of missing completely off the board and having a 0 for a score. And that's not really what you want to do if you're trying to take an out. And Glenn had 48 and hit a double 7.
It leaves him an out. It's just not a very pretty one. And he went for it.
Well, with Tracy sitting on 80, I can't imagine Glenn wouldn't have gone for the out. I think he had 34 left, and he just flopped it into the 3.
I was expecting a dart at the 2, to be honest with you, but you're right. Someone of Tracy's standard, an 80 is very likely. I see it's a 1.
Well, he missed into the 1. That leaves him to 79. He's got a couple of options. I don't know which way he's going to go with this. Triple 13 would probably be the way I would go.
Well, he needs a triple to get a shot at a double.
And he did go with the triple 13, hit a single. And he went back at the triple 10 to leave double 18 at a single, so he should have 60 left. Oh, look, I did math correct. That's refreshing. I'm getting my sea legs back.
Just saying that dart at the 2 wouldn't have been that bad an idea. And I think he slipped into the 2 this time from a 15.
He slipped into the double 2.
Yeah, he wanted the 15 to leave the double 8. And
now he's left himself at 27. Very unconventional number. Odd to throw at.
I'm trying to figure that out.
I'm not sure where that last dart was at. I got to figure out the math on that one. But he got 4 left, so apparently we just couldn't see the second dart.
Must have been in the 19. I thought it was in the.
I thought it was a 3 myself.
Yeah.
And Tracy put his first dart right in the meat of the 20, and then the second ones were just above the wire. He had a chance and just couldn't take advantage. Glenn's got an 8 now, and holy cow, that's surprising.
Yeah, neither of them have clicked on their doubles yet. Scoring's been great though.
And Tracy, just like you said earlier, just inside the wire, so he's going to have to drop down to the double 10, and there it is. Beautiful shot.
Well, you're back with us. It looks like Tracy had continued to just eke ahead. It's 5-4. And it's Glenn to throw. Glenn really needs to get back level pegging, start putting the pressure on to try and make Tracy lose and pressure him. When you've got that leg cushion, it's nice to have. You don't throw badly as often.
Well, it's hard to look at this match and say that Tracy's the underdog or Glenn's the underdog, but if you look at their past season's standings, you can kind of see where Glenn might, in the back of his mind, think that Tracy's the underdog, simply because Glenn is a past champion, a Premier League member, and Tracy's new to this division. And as I say that, Glenn's throwing a beautiful 140 to answer Tracy's ton. But Tracy's showing he's no underdog. He's throwing big boy darts, and as we've seen in the past, he's taken some very impressive outs, and he's not letting up at all.
No, it's an unlucky. I hate throwing the 66. You've either saved a throw or ruined one.
And my attitude on the 66 is it's better than what I usually throw. I'll be happy with it.
I think it's all down to when the 60 goes in. 60 goes in first start, you've ruined it. 60 goes in last start, you're a hero.
Unless it's a triple 12, 18, and a 12, and then you just don't feel good about that at all.
And you should put the beer down, drop the darts, and go home.
Take up a new hobby, bud. And Glenn's riding that ton 40, and Tracy's not really done a lot to put any additional pressure on Glenn as a result.
He wasn't happy with that dart at all.
He wasn't happy with my comment or that dart. I'm not sure which. He stepped off the line to take a break. I don't know if something in the bar distracted him or something got his attention, but he's going to regather his thoughts and try again.
I say calm down, Glenn. It's a 20, not a 1.
I'd love to be good enough one day to get frustrated when I only hit a fat 20.
Yeah, it would be nice. We can dream. And that's probably not enough now. He's given Tracy a little bit of an opportunity to get back into this leg.
Hey, he has opened the door, and Tracy really needs to put a ton on the board to take advantage of it. And he did. That third dart is in the triple 20, and that was a clutch shot by Tracy to put the pressure on Glenn now. Glenn will likely still get first start at the double if he puts a big score up here. But if he doesn't, Tracy's in a good position to take the throw.
He really needs this cover shot to go in. Oh, he went.
He went back at it and
I
just
didn't
got
think
another
he could
single.
see it at all. Maybe the smart dart would have been dropping down to the 19s. He's a hell of a 19 shooter.
Yeah, sometimes I don't understand the logic behind throwing back at a number that is clearly blocked versus going to a new number. And Tracy didn't really take advantage either. He just put a 45 on the board.
And this could be punishing. This could be a body blow. Oh, he's going to have to fix that.
And he went back at the 20. I thought he might go to the bottom of the board to even it back up.
Yeah, that's what I was expecting, to be honest with you.
And Tracy's got a 153. He got the triple 20. He's looking at the 19 now. And just a bit low. Unfortunate for him. And if I do my math correctly, which is tentative at best the way today is going, he should have 64 left. He'll be looking at the triple 16, I would expect. And as I've proven once before, apparently my math is wrong.
I don't know, he's standing at the board.
He was looking at the board and I was looking at the board, and like I said, apparently my math skills are just bad today.
What do we keep you around for? That's a great dart.
What a shot. He hit the double 16 with his final dart to take out a 103. That was a beautiful game.
That's the out we were expecting. Ooh, it looks like we've had a scoreboard error.
There was a computer malfunction. Glenn is now up 1 leg to none, and that's unfortunate for Tracy.
Yeah, do you recall what this means?
I don't remember what the standings were at this point.
Well, we'll figure it out as we go. It shouldn't be too hard. But either way, Glenn won that last game with a fantastic 103 out.
Well, he hit the triple 20 with the first dart. That was a solid dart. Went down to the triple 17, and he just nailed it. It was right in the middle. It was as pretty as it could be.
And Tracy started with a 121. Glenn started with a ton.
And unfortunately, Tracy followed his 121 with a 7. And against someone like Glenn, that's not going to cut it.
No, you're going to get punished.
And that one's just below the triple 20, 1 millimeter away from being a very punishing shot.
So was that. I can't quite see.
Looked like
was
a
it only
45.
60?
Was it 60?
No. No, it wasn't. It was 45.
One of the hazards of looking at the video is not being able to see where the darts are all the time. And Tracy's got a 70. I could see that one clearly enough.
They're working their way down. pretty well. It's a little wild at times, but when they're on, they're very, very on. And as I say that,
and when they're off, they're very off. We've seen some very uncharacteristically low scores this game. Makes me feel better about my darts. Hey, I can throw a 7 just like Glenn and Tracy.
Can we get that into the triple? No. Is the answer no? We can't.
But somehow when they throw a 7, it looks so much prettier than my 7.
Well, what are we looking at now? Could do with a ton here, to be honest with you, at least, to get the momentum back.
And he hit the ton. He got that third dart in the triple 20.
Yeah, it's about levelled it back up now. It means that Tracy's got to do a little more than just a 60.
And he got a 45, which is a little less than a 60. And that's not gonna help his mood any if Glenn can hit a big shot here.
Yeah, with a good score from Glenn here, again he gets the initiative.
And big score he got, another ton. And it puts him on an out, but a long one, but it's an out. And Tracy really needs to answer that ton if he wants to keep the pressure on Glenn.
Well, it's only 13 more than his last out, so we know he's capable.
It's 23 more for those of you who are bad at math. Remember, it was a 103.
Oh, I thought it was a 113. Well, this is a farcical commentary. Farcical.
This week's match brought to you by Texas Instruments, makers of great calculators.
I'm getting a calculator for the next game. I'm going to sit here with a calculator. It was an interesting game for the triple 19 on a 126.
Well, not really a bad shot. The first one was a single, which left him a 107. So he goes right back at the triple 19 again to leave himself a bull. And unfortunately, he hit another single. So he went at the 16.
And Tracy's struggling right now.
He definitely is. 45. He's missing the 20s more than I think he wants. And Glenn's going to get a good clear shot at this 72. I've given up trying to guess how he's going to go for it. Let's just watch and see.
I bet you didn't see that way coming.
I've grown fond of the triple 12 double 18 method of throwing a 72 because if you hit the single 12, it's just 20 double 20. You're in the same neighborhood. You're not jumping up and down across the board. And Tracy's got a 93. He hit the 19 and then the 18.
You'll shake your head, but when I go for that, I do go 20-20, double 16. Just what I'm comfortable. Go high on the 20, hope to catch a fluky double. It's not the smartest.
All right, Glenn's looking at the double top. He put the 16 right in the meat of it.
He's done. Is that a 1?
It looks like a 1. He's not done himself any favors there. Now he's going to have to fix this. And he did with the 7. He's left himself 32, but he's given Tracy 3 free darts at a double 20. And Tracy's proven time and time again he likes that double top.
Even if it was on target, it would have been inside by distance. I think that might be the story of this match.
And there's Tracy's out.
I think he should leave himself double 10 more often. He's had 2 darts at it and hit it both times. Well, I've had a word with the man upstairs and he informs me that the score is actually 8-7 to Glenn and it's Glenn to throw. So Tracy needs to break this leg to get a draw and Glenn needs it to get a win.
Well, that's exactly right. They've taken turns breaking each other's throw, but the end result is they've essentially level pegged up to this game. This is the final game, one way or the other. Either Tracy's going to tie him or Glenn's going to win it outright. And Glenn starts out with a 60, and I know he's going to wish that was a little bit more. Tracy can really take advantage of a relatively mild opening score.
Well, with the scores being 8-7 and Glenn to throw first, that means Glenn's broken once more, by my math. And Tracy's response of a 43 probably isn't what he'd want.
Definitely not, and you know, Glenn needs to really put some pressure on him if he wants to take this game and get the 2 points.
Well, with it being his throw, it's down to Tracy to do the work. If Tracy wants this, he's going to have to bring out that level that we know he's got in him.
Well, that is a good point, and he hasn't brought it out yet. Let's see if he can get something going. He's running out of time very, very quickly, and a 60 is just not going to do it. He really needs to put a big score on the board.
Or a couple of 80s if Glenn's off the ball a bit, or back-to-back tons always does good work as well.
Well, Glenn's throwing 2 60s in a row, and it's not huge pressure, but it's enough to keep him in front for the moment. But there's a 40, and that's going to be Tracy's opening. He really needs to put a big score on the board right now.
The problem is if he feels that, that's where you start trying too hard and missing, which may be the case. See the little fumble with the dart before he threw then?
I did, and he only hit a 30 to respond to Glenn's 40, so Tracy not only did not make up ground, he actually lost ground, and that's not going to sit well with him.
I would argue he got excited. He knows he needs the leg, he saw Glenn messed up, and judging by that little,
And Glenn has Robin Hooded his dart. He hit 2 5s, and he Robin Hooded his third dart into the back of one of the 5s. To score a 10, and now Tracy he's getting something most dart shooters at this level don't get, and that's another chance. And he's done better this time. Glenn's 10 was answered with a 95, and that's put Tracy in a fairly comfortable lead. He's much better than he was 2 shots ago, that's for sure.
He's stolen the initiative, and the good news for Glenn with that Robin Hood is they were the first 2 darts on the 5, so he doesn't have to buy a shot.
And Glenn's not really doing a whole lot to keep the pressure on Tracy. Tracy has so far stolen this game from him. He's in a position right now to get to the out first and get first dart at the double.
With that triple 20, an 85 in total, you'd argue now it's Tracy's leg to lose.
That's a fair assessment, and Glenn really needs to hit a big score just to keep from losing his own throw and with it the match. Well, not losing it, but giving up the tie versus the win.
Is that need going to add pressure? Doesn't look like it is.
Well, the first 2 darts indicate he hasn't felt the pressure yet, or he's taken that pressure and really turned it into something, because he did respond with a ton, and that's the caliber of these players. Glenn's last shot was a 10 with a Robin Hood, and he came right back strong with a ton, and that does put some pressure on Tracy to keep the pressure on Glenn. And with a 45. Glenn's in a position right now to really take this game back over.
That's a bad first start, and
he's moved way to the right side of the board.
Too far to the right by the look of that dart.
Unfortunately, his dart moved with him.
It's uncharacteristic. I think that's a sign of pressure as much as Tracy's dart fumbled. Glenn hasn't moved all game that we've seen.
That's the first time I've noticed him moving to the other side of the line, and truth be told, I would have probably expected him to just drop down to the 19 before doing something like that.
Yeah, we've not seen as much drop into the 19 as he did in the first season. That's where he really punished people. His cover shots were fantastic.
Interesting shot by Tracy. I'm not sure if he did a little bit of a math miscalculation, or if he just had that second dart get way away from him. He hit the triple 20 with the first dart, which left him 83. His second dart should have been at the triple 17. But it hit a skitty 19, so I'm not sure exactly what happened. It may have just gotten away from him. He went down to the 16 to fix it. He had 64 left, which should now leave him 48, and it does. And Glenn does not have an out, so Tracy's going to get 3 darts at that 48.
At least.
And Glenn really needs to put a big score on the board to put some pressure on Tracy.
And that is not going to go anywhere towards helping. He's stuck there though, and
he stayed up with it. No, it looks like a 41. And Glenn's on a 124. Tracy's going to have a good, clean look at this 48 out. First dart in the fat 16. Just a bit outside, but a decent marker. And way inside. Very uncharacteristic for Tracy to miss that third dart that far in. But he's still got 16, and Glenn's sitting on a long 124. So Tracy got to feel good about possibly getting a shot. And as I say that, Glenn's put a triple 20 on the board.
Talking about the right dart at the right time.
He's got 64 left, and this brings up an interesting point. Tracy's sitting on a double 8. Glenn could throw at the triple 14, knowing that if he hit a single 14, it would leave him a double bull, leave him a dart at the double. And he's gone up to the 20. It looked like he was going for that triple 20 again to leave the double too. Unfortunately, he's now left himself no chance of taking it out. And he threw a 12 just to fix it. And Glenn's got a 32 and Tracy's on 16.
Odds are he's not going to even get a chance to throw that at the board though. This should be lights out. That's a great first start. Just step it inside a little. Oh, he's dragged that down. And he's overcooked it.
And wow, the third dart, it looked like it was on the mark, but just a bit inside the wire. And Glenn with the 32 is almost automatic. Usually you give him one dart and he'll hit it. And not this time. He's got a fair marker. Let's see if he can put that second one there.
And he does.
It was a beautiful shot. I know Tracy's not going to be happy with his doubles performance the last game. That last game really was his to win, was his to steal, and he just couldn't quite get it there. He had a little bit of trouble with that 48 out, and again with the 16. And I know Tracy's not going to be happy. That was a point that he had in the bag that just got away from him, and I think he's really not going to be happy with that.
So on reflection of the game, I felt a draw probably would have been the fairest outcome, but darts is a vicious mistress, and if you miss 6 darts at a single digit out, double digit out, but at a single dart out, at this level you're going to get punished. There's no doubt.
That's exactly right, Richard. There are very few times you're going to get away with missing 5 darts at a double and not have to pay the penalty. And Tracy saw that firsthand this game. He had 2 darts at the double 16, 3 more darts at the double 8, and he couldn't get the job done. Glenn had 2 darts at the double 16, and one of them was to win the match. That's clutch darts. That's pressure darts by Glenn. And I know Tracy's going to have to refocus his attention on his double shooting. I know after this game he's not going to be real happy with that.
Well, Tracy can take from this game that he's played last season's top 2 shooters, and he's lost 9-6 and 9-7. So he is stood toe to toe with the best 2 from last season, and he's come out with his shoulders high and his chin high, and he's done a good job.
Well, hopefully he'll take some consolation from that. I know Tracy, and I know that he's not going to be happy with having a goose egg in the points column, but he does need to recognize that he's played 2 very tough opponents and 2 very good matches, and he has gone toe to toe and traded blows with these 2 shooters, and he has done very well for himself. The scoreboard doesn't reflect it. Hopefully he can put a couple of wins on the board to reaffirm it on paper.
I think it shows that he definitely is in the league he belongs to be in, and I think as the seasons go by, he'll find himself definitely top 2 or 3 without a question.
Before too long, I think you'll see him get his darts together, and I think you'll see him as one of the top shooters every season.
Well, that was a lot of fun.
It was. Despite my math errors, I'm going to switch to something less alcoholic now.
And I'll see you next time.
See you next time, Rick.